Hello everyone, today in this video we will fight against the utmost character of our world around us, and this time we will talk about the dreams of Eurocommunists. And Eurocommunists, I define the current business political elite, because no longer cultural elite of the European Union structures, and these are the followers of green version of socialism. Previously we had red one, brown one, and now we have green one. Green one is also even more heavily supported by many big companies and cynical and greed CEOs and owners of these big companies, just to secure monopolies for their action. Because as we know, big corporations love socialism because they give them monopolies for their action and for their earnings. So they don't like competition, and thanks to socialists they do not have it. So in recent decades, many representatives of the big industry decided to simply buy leftist groups and help them to reach power and brainwash society by social engineering. And currently in European Union we have this process really at the most advanced in the world, I think. And this business political elite, because no longer cultural elite, tries to conduct some reforms like so-called green economy, which is not green, but this is the desperate attempt to secure some market for European motor and high-tech industry, which cannot compete with their Asian American counterparts, and have to secure their existence together with socialists, who, when they are in power, give them monopoly for their economical activity. Let's call it like this. Currently, we see that many European nations are waking up and protesting. Especially the people who are protesting are the ones who are living from the work of their own hands. Farmers, craftsmen, and so on. So there is an argument between our Eastern European nations, Ukraine and Russia. There is some conflict for a long time, but currently the elite of the Western Europe, representatives of this business political elite, would like to speed up with creating so-called European army. Of course, this European army will not be used to defend the borders or to conquer new lands. It will be exactly used as communists use it against their own people, against the countries within European Union which will be suddenly fed up with living in the green socialist paradise and would like to leave this structure. We see that it's exactly the case as it was in Warsaw Pact countries in 1956 with Hungary and in 1968 with Czechoslovakia, when the armed forces of the other countries of the Warsaw Pact, especially in majority Soviet forces, entered the country and suppressed the protesters, suppressed the opponents of the current order. And the same dream of Eurocommunists, who are now acting under the banner of green socialism, the same dream our Eurocommunists have, to create an army that won't be as an army. It will be so-called very well armed police forces to pacify, suppress the populations which will not agree or will not agree any longer with the order introduced by the current business political elite. So it's all against populations that will be brave enough to protest against the green socialist madness, including devastation of agriculture, including devastation of fossil fuel based motorization, and so on and so on. And also disowning people from their own possessions with using pseudo-ecological regulations, which are only a trick to allow big European companies to earn money on so-called modernization of the houses and building blocks in which people are living. So we see how desperate big business in European Union is, not being able, due to their own politics, welfare state, and so on. We see how desperate these representatives of this big European industry are, not being able to compete with their Asian, North and South American counterparts. That's why they are trying to make a dictatorial state with the green socialist ideology on the top of it and create armed forces to suppress people who will not support their ideology. It's typical case when democracy is turning into democrature. So we are going to dictature because elites which failed in ruling the countries, and this business political elite, no longer cultural elite, completely failed, would like to keep the power at any cost. I hope that inhabitants of European Union will not allow for forming these so-called European armed forces, because these armed forces are formed against them, and we should keep in mind Hungary 56 and Czechoslovakia 68 case when friendly forces came with brotherly help and suppressed them, killed and expelled and arrested many people. So we see that all communists of all times work in the same way, regardless of their color. Red, brown or green, the same. But now they have a little bit more money, because more than in the past, big industry companies supported them, wanting to have monopolies on some territories for their economical activity and being actually out of the any law of the market and out of the any law of the criminal court. That's why these CEOs and owners of many companies support socialists who give them monopolies and also some protection against the law which should reach them for their not honest economical practices. Now everything in hands of the inhabitants of European countries. They shouldn't agree for these further reforms. That's why I support farmers and craftsmen protests, and we should also openly say no to the project of European armed forces, which will be directed only against all of us inside the European Union. All the best, have a nice day, bye.